Yeah, it's a tension and maybe a little bit of anxiety about the whole thing because, well, one thing that's strange that's sort of become normalized over the last few years is like the reliance on the internet,
Mm.
in terms of sharing things with the world, gauging reactions, conversations. It's all internet, social media based. And so when you kind of base your sense of the world or a record or anything that you're trying to do on that, it can be very bleak and strange at times.
Mm.
Um, so yeah, I mean, the record comes out in a few weeks, and I'm home, and we don't start touring until March. So it's kind of, I just feel like, what am I supposed to be doing right now? Am I supposed to be? I don't know. That's just like a weird sort of limbo period where I guess my inner, uh, like my natural desire would be like to get out and play to celebrate the record, but it's going to be kind of delayed. So yeah, just like sitting around tense, feeling like I should be doing a lot of things, but I don't know if I should. So
But
yeah,
you raise an interesting point, and I think even for an artist as yourself, you've been around, but you're not old by any means. So have you already kind of felt that shift in the music industry where it's, as you say, it's more about numbers on a screen than kind of actual looking into people's eyes in a way?
yeah, for sure. I mean, since I especially started this project and put out the first record, I mean, it's always been a part of it, but I really feel like the last few years it's dominated the
Mm.
whole thing. With live being removed from the picture for a few
Sure.
years. Um, but then in a counter to that, almost like the numeric social media, everyone competing for to become, uh, competing for like the infinite space of social media has become so ramped up.
Mm.
And which makes sense because going out and doing what we used to do, like tour all the time, and the human connection has been reduced. So we're all kind of like doing the only thing that we can. I think it's kind of backfired because I feel like now it's even harder to cut through or connect
Mm.
on a thing that was kind of designed to do so. So it's a very weird thing. And then once tour starts, you go out and play the shows, and there's people there that might be singing along, and you're like, oh, not all is pointless. It's just kind of getting to there, but it's certainly different. I don't know if and when it'll ever kind of go back to that original pre-pandemic feeling where there's this like certain level of excitement and connectivity around things, but I
Yeah,
don't know.
not to make it too kind of sociological or something, but I feel like in the 70s, you had the punk scene, and it was a really close-knit community with all those magazines and everything that was going on. And it seems like in general, a general society has become more, how would you, individualistic, I suppose, more separated from each other. Do you think that music has a role of trying to bring each other back together, or have kind of things like Spotify and has that kind of diverged the whole, fragmented the whole audience in a way?
Yeah,
It's yeah, like I said, it's maybe too
no, it's
philosophical or
great.
something, but
No, it's a great question. It's a great thing to think about because, yeah, initially music was the thing that brought people together, and it still does
sure,
in a live sense, I think. But in the context of the internet, it kind of feels like everyone is their own competitive island, like maintaining their brand and their image and like, self promotion. And that with that comes like an inherent narcissism and kind of
sure.
self importance, which is the individualism that you're talking about. I think that's a direct result of social media, uh, and going from being this fun thing that people did to now this definitive thing that people do, especially in arts, where like you have to be on it, you have to use it, you have to maintain this avatar. And so, yeah, with that comes like it has to be individualistic, which I
Mm.
kind of hate. And so like that's always the conflict with me with going on there, and there's pressure to like use social media, use TikTok because I just can't seem to approach it in a serious way that people that do it professionally, like influencers and stuff. You go on
Right.
and they're so sincere and they take the whole thing so seriously. I'm like, are we living? We used to, live and then share parts of life on there. But now I feel like people are kind of living to share, which is just a fucking crazy development. Um, I just think it is. It's taking away from the sense of community uh, in music and everything. And like I said, that's why I'm excited to get back on tour because that's when you remember the point.